Okay, so welcome everyone to our regular Bhagavad Gita sessions on Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. We will continue from where we had left, that is third chapter, 19th verse. Um, Let me come into there. We had completed 19, so 20. So before that, a short recap, on this particular chapter before we move forward. Um, we discussed about the cycle of sacrifice that that is set up in the universal government. So Krishna talks about the universal government, and we know about the local government. Local government is our state government, our government of the country, right? So we pay taxes to the government, and then the government provides us with facilities like electricity, education, dams, road infrastructure, etc. Right? So this is how the local government works. Similarly, there is a universal government, and in that universal government, we have the planets, the rivers, the oceans, the mountains. So they are being governed by demigods. There is somebody behind these planets, rivers, oceans, and they are controlling all of that and providing us with the necessities. So in the universal government, there are departments like irrigation department that is done by Lord Indra, um, the Surya Chandra department. They provide us light. They provide juice to the vegetables. Then there is Vayu department that provides air, oxygen to everyone. Dhanvantari, which provides medicines, herbs. Then Ganesh, which removes the obstacles in our life. And there is Yamraj, who does this hell and heaven and placement organization, right? Similarly, in the local government, we have very, very departments like water supply, water department, electricity department, roads, transportation, hospital, education, defense, jail, right? Tax department. So similarly, all of this is there in the universal government also. Now, this is something our modern education doesn't teach because for them, everything is working according to the laws, the law of gravity, the law of action reaction. But whether how that law is implemented or basically who is enforcing that law, they are not able to explain. Whereas the Vedas, they said these laws are getting enforced by beings, like higher beings, which are called demigods. These are semi-gods, and they are enforcing them on this world. Okay, according to our karma, we get reactions, right? And in turn, how we have to pay taxes to them. So that is the cycle of sacrifice, wherein the Supreme Lord Krishna, he provides us the Vedas, the body of knowledge, from where we come to know what is our prescribed actions, karmas to be done, which are legal karmas, illegal, criminal, like that. And when we perform those karmas and we perform the yajna, that is sacrifice, we grow grains, right? We earn. So some part of it we give it to the demigods through the process of sacrifice, fire sacrifice, performing yajnas and pujas, like that. And from them the demigods give us the rain. From the rain we grow food grains and we subsist on it. We offer part of that food grain to Lord Krishna, and like this is the cycle of sacrifice. If we perform this cycle, then we'll be provided with all the necessities and will be happy in this material world. Okay. So in this chapter, Krishna talks about this. Now, when we talk about karma, we have to perform prescribed actions. Then we do it with desire that I want to do this because I'll get something out of it. Okay, that is sakam karma. Second, he says we should do this karma out of duty. If we do it with duty, we'll be unattached and we won't be worried of success and failure. We'll be only attached to our duty, right? And then after that, whatever the result may come. So that is even higher than sakam karma, and that is nishkam karma. So in this nishkam karma, when one does it for the supreme, that is perfect. Okay, and in that regards, Krishna talks about these section that we are going through. That there are these self-realized persons. Self-realized means these are spiritually very advanced people, and he gives them example of like Janak Maharaj. Um, Let me see. Okay, he's yet to give. Okay, he will. Yeah. So he gives the example of Janak Maharaj. So these are people who worked in the material world. Okay, who were active, who did their activities, who did their duties like that, and they were self-realized, spiritually very advanced. And when they were spiritually very advanced, they were not required to do this kind of prescribed duties. They were above it, but they still did it. Why? Because they wanted to set a good example. Now, why Krishna is telling this thing to Arjuna? Because Arjuna is saying in the first chapter that he thinks that the war is very ghastly and he will lose his family members and his near and dear ones. So many people will die. It will be destruction of the society and there'll be no leaders left. So he had real concern. So he was thinking that I should not do this duty of fighting. So Krishna comes and tells him that you can be on the path of spirituality and at the same time you can perform your fighting duty. And there are examples of those who have already done this. And he uses the word Janaka. Okay, that's why he's giving that example to make Arjuna realize that he has to perform his duty. Now, why he has to perform his duty? And I've given this example, but it's a very important example. Um, Suppose a policeman sees a crime happening, and in that crime, his own brother is doing that crime. He's committing that crime. His own brother is committing that crime. What should the policeman do? We all know that the policeman should act irrespective of whether his brother is involved or not, because that is his duty to stop the crime. And for that, he has to use violence. Okay. So Arjuna had this same question whether to fight or not to fight with the evil Duryodhana. And he concluded in the first chapter that I think I should not fight. So therefore, Krishna comes to this point and says that you better fight because that is your duty. And you do your duty in a very detached way and very spiritually advanced way. And then he gives this example, Janak. So we'll get into it today's verse. If there are any questions, comments, you can interrupt me anytime. Okay. कर्मण्ये हि संसिद्धिम् अशित जनकादय लोक संग्रहम एवापि संपश्यं कर्तुम अर्हसि. See, another word here is loka sangraham. We'll understand. Loka sangraham means people in general. So we have to think about people in general also. These are leaders, Arjuna, Janaka. And even though one may become spiritually very advanced, people in general will still look at them. And if they neglect their duty, then people in general will also neglect their duty. Agree? Like if the leader is a thief, what do you expect people will be then? They'll also be thief, right? If you remember 1 year back, um, when United States left Afghanistan, the Taliban could easily capture Afghanistan within weeks. And there was not even a single fight that happened in recapturing Afghanistan. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, there was no leader there.
Or there was a leader and he was falsely telling that there are 3 lakh soldiers. Now the 3 lakh soldiers didn't fight at all. Why? Because the leader himself was cheating. He was just taking
Hmm.
the money from the payroll. And, uh, and the defense army is also doing the same thing. They were just having increase in the number of payroll. so that they could direct that money into their own account. And when it came to real fighting, they didn't fight. You see, so if the leader itself is corrupt, the people in general will also become corrupt, right?
Yes,
If there is an inspiring leader, then we see that the whole team, everyone in the family, in the society, they become very inspiring. They want to do something. We took the name here Janaka. Let me tell you the name Ram. So Ram was such an inspiring leader that they had to build a bridge, right? The bridge was 800-mile long. Today, man builds 8 mile bridge, 10 mile bridge, and becomes like a Guinness World Book record. But in Ramayana, they built a bridge which was 800 miles. So sometimes it is said that the Sri Lanka that we may be saying may not be the real Sri Lanka. It could be farther than that. So because it has to be 800 miles away, and Sri Lanka is not even 800 miles. It's not even few miles away. Just few miles away. But according to Ramayana, it had to be 800 miles away. So anyway, so the monkeys were really inspired by Lord Ram, and they were so inspired that if they would write the name of Ram, then the rock would float. Right? With that, they actually build the bridge. Now, every day they were building the bridge double the size of the previous day. So today, if they build 8 miles, tomorrow they would build the next 16 miles. The next day they would build 32 miles. Then it would be 64. Then it would be 128. Does anyone in the company work like that? Have you heard about this? Today he will do, say set amount of work. Tomorrow he will do
yeah,
double
no,
the work.
yeah, doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way. But when
Yeah,
the leader is inspiring, right, then it can happen. Okay?
mm,
When the leader is
right.
inspiring, then it can happen.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's get into this. So Janak was a very inspiring leader. And even though he was very spiritually advanced, he didn't have the duties to perform, because once you're spiritually advanced, you're detached from this world. But because he was a king and he was married and he had so many duties to perform, he was not neglectful. So while practicing spirituality, he performed his duty for the sake of educating the people in general. See, leader has to take care of this. Okay, leader just cannot give up and go to forest. He has to do that when he's very old. And even if he becomes spiritually advanced, if before that, like Janak Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they still have to perform their duties. So let's get into translation. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. This is very important for leaders, especially. Now, do you know how many kinds of leaders are there in the society? Can we list down? Which are the
Mm,
natural leaders in the society? Let's say king,
mm,
right? Then,
The prime minister, the president.
yeah, they all come in the king section. Okay.
I'm a
Then,
king.
huh? You said something? What?
No, no, I was saying that they all come under the king only, like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
But then there are other leaders who are not on the kingly level, but they are actually leaders. Parents,
Uh,
father, mother, teachers. These are all natural leaders. Okay. The king, the prime minister, government, yes, of course, the officers and all that. Then even parents and teachers, these are natural leaders. Okay, so we should understand that these are also leaders. People look at them. Children look at these. Even we look at our parents, right? Our children look at us. We look at our teachers for examples. So, like this, there are natural leaders. there is some more. Let me just quickly find it. Okay. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
And
So these
leaders
are
in the
three.
army, leaders of the army.
Yeah, yeah. King, all that comes there. There were few others. Okay. Sorry. One. Brahmana. Brahmana is also a leader. Brahmana is a leader. And yeah. So once I get the full list, I will list down. But at least at this point, I remember these four. There are many more. Okay. So these are the leaders, and the leaders, they have to perform their duty irrespective whether they like it or not, or they are spiritually advanced, because for the sake of educating the people in general. Okay, they should give a very good example. So king like Janak were all self-reliant souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duty in the Vedas. So Arjuna wanted to become a self-reliant soul. Okay, Arjuna said, I will go to on the path of spirituality. But to go on the path of spirituality, I think I should not take part in the war. That was his misunderstanding. So Krishna gave the example of Janaka and all the other kings. And he said that they were also self-realized, but they didn't give up their duty. They don't have any obligation to perform. Nonetheless, they perform their prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janak was father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Ram, Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendently situated, but because he was king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, their Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach the people in general that violence is also necessary in the situation where good arguments fail. Where good arguments fail, where the weak have to be protected from the evil, the strong has to stand up. Interesting, right? Where the good arguments fail. This happens, right? Like in Mahabharata, what was the good argument of the Pandavas? What was the last argument that they made?
Like the Krishna goes to the Dhitra,
Duryodhana.
the Duryodhan and asks for the five villages for them,
Yes.
right?
Now,
Yeah.
how big a kingdom did Duryodhana had? Thousands of
Uh,
acres, right? Thousands of acres.
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Out of which he had to just give five villages, not even five cities or five towns, but five villages. How big is a village? Maybe,
Mm.
30, 40 houses. That's it. Of he had to only give that much. And then he had to avoid this war. But no. Good arguments fail, then you go for war. Okay. So yeah.
But
So
Prabhu, sometimes it's not only good arguments is not enough. Like situation like the thing that happened with Draupadi, right? So that was, I guess, that was more than enough for a war. Do you
agreed,
think
agreed.
like that?
See, the Pandavas were ready to forgive also. Okay. The
Yeah.
Pandavas were ready
Mhm.
to forgive. They said that there will be unnecessary war. So let's reduce our demand. So initially they wanted to the whole kingdom, but when they saw the stubbornness of um, Duryodhan, they said let's reduce. And when even he didn't agree for five villages,
But
then
in that case also,
huh,
I mean, Prabhu, I'm saying like even if that is not the case, like even if the that is also wrong if they forgive Duryodhan because
no, no,
the
agreed. Yeah. See, the point was that this is a fight that is going to happen within the family. Okay. So Yudhishthir had this point that within a family we should not fight so much. And indeed, before the war in the forest only, what had happened is once Duryodhana was captured by the Gandharvas. At that point, he had ordered Arjuna to go and fight with the Gandharvas so that Duryodhana be relieved. And he said that that actually Duryodhana is my brother. At that point, he said, we may have fought and all that, but now it is a question of his family, and I am also his brother. So Yudhishthir Maharaj gave a very good example to Duryodhana. Duryodhana should have understood that time, but he was evil. See, the problem with evil is they won't agree even till the point of death, and that's what Duryodhana was. So even for good arguments and very good examples, he simply failed. Duryodhana. So Duryodhana's case was really extreme. Duryodhana's case was really extreme. I will tell you one more thing: the extent of forgiveness of the Pandavas. So after Duryodhana was defeated, then Ashwadhama, he went and killed the brother of Draupadi, Drishtadumna, and the 5 sons of Draupadi, thinking that these are 5 brothers. But he killed them. So the next day, when they came to know that sons are died, Arjuna and Bhima, they captured Ashwadhama and they brought him. At that point, Draupadi was saying, before that point, Draupadi was saying we should kill him. But the moment Ashwadhama came in front, she said we should not kill him. And Bhima was the only one who was saying that we should not kill him. Yudhishthir Maharaj said we should not kill him. Krishna said, I don't want to kill him. And the other brothers said we don't want to kill him. Now Arjuna didn't knew what to do, whether to kill him or not. And the reason was Draupadi thought that I lost my sons, so I am grieving now. Now Ashwadhama is the son of my husband's guru, my teacher, my husband's teacher. And if he loses son, and Dronacharya had died, right? So Dronacharya's wife was there. And if Dronacharya's wife loses her only son, she will also become very sad. She will also grieve. Now I am already grieving, then I will make her also to grieve. I don't think I should do that, especially when she is my husband's guru's wife. She's like my mother. So thinking that, Draupadi thought that we should not kill. Understanding that sentiment, Yudhishthir Maharaj also said we should not kill. Krishna also said we should not kill. Nakul and Sahadev also said we should not kill. The only one who was saying we should kill him, kill him, kill him was Bhima. Because Bhima was very political. He said that doesn't matter. He did a crime, we have to kill him. Now Arjuna had to perform this action of killing him and not killing him. So what he did was, there was a diamond on the forehead of Ashwadhama, which was giving him power. So he removed that diamond and he cut his hair off. And that diamond took away his power and made him lusterless, made him completely weak, and he lost all respect. So a fighter, if he loses that respect, then it's almost like killing. So in this way, he killed and he didn't kill. So you see, even after the war, the Pandavas were setting very good examples. But Duryodhana and Parati were not in that mood. So this war was like forced upon.
Do you think this was destined, the war? Like it
See,
was meant to
when
happen?
we say about destiny, right? See, when we say about destiny and all that, right? Even if it is there, we don't know. See, when we understand this word destiny, we have to be very clear. This is a very it has become very confusing. Why? Because first of all, we don't know. This we need to completely understand. We don't know whether it's a destiny or not. Okay. Second thing is, we are not demigods. Demigods means we don't have power over karma. or let's say instead of that, let's say destiny or fate. Do we have power over it? No, right?
No.
Yeah. So that's the reason why we cannot really say, that it is a destiny and all that, and we should not, and we have to avoid that. No. The only people who can say is those who control it. So those who can control destiny, those who can predict destiny, they can say. Can we predict destiny? We don't know, we cannot predict.
No.
So therefore, using this argument that it is destiny and all that doesn't make sense to man. It doesn't make sense to man, okay? So what makes sense to man? Whatever is destiny, we should perform our duty. Okay? This is what is in our hand. Right or wrong? Whatever may be the destiny, we should perform our duty. See, let's take the example of farmer. Does he know the destiny, will it rain or not? Does the farmer know
No.
beforehand that they know? No, right? With today's technology also, he may know, say, a month before or 15 days before. But he cannot know 2 months, 3 months, 4 months before, right? So, so uh, should he sow his crop or not?
He should definitely.
He should, right? He should,
Yes, yes.
irrespective. So that's why endeavor is in our hand. We can only talk about endeavor. Okay, we cannot talk about destiny. Agreed? Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reason why I'm saying this is because some people give the argument of destiny and then they avoid the endeavor only.
No, the question there is because I was thinking, what if this war had not happened at the first place? And
So
also,
we
I
see, we
was
don't know. We don't know. That is the thing. So we should not go into that area where we don't know, because it is a waste of time. We should only go in the area where we have to perform the endeavor. See, we all work in companies, right? Do we know
yes.
the product is going to work or not?
No, not necessarily.
No, right. Then should we talk on the destiny? If we say, in a meeting, we start saying, no, is it a destiny of our company to really earn? That discussion doesn't make sense.
Foolish, yeah, foolish discussion.
Yeah. See, the reason it is called foolish because we really don't know. So we should focus only on our endeavors. And then we should wait and watch for the destiny. And there is very nice thinker. He's no more. Stephen, I forgot his name. Stephen. He wrote the 7 habits of effective people, something like that. He wrote this book. Stephen, anyone knows this?
Yes,
His name
yes.
Stephen Covey, right? Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey.
Ah,
Is it a good book?
yeah, it's a very good book. Stephen Covey, 7 habits of effective leader or something like that. In
Highly
where
effective.
he says there is a circle of, let's use some whiteboard today. Where is the whiteboard? Live, share sound. There is no whiteboard in Zoom.
There is an option.
Where?
Whiteboard. You can see it down on the right side.
Down on the right side.
Where your that task manager, where new start video participant option is, there it is. Whiteboard.
Chat. New share. Sorry, I'm not able to see.
Or if you're using a PC, then it must be somewhere like inside an option.
Oh, okay. Ah, like kind of frustrated with this. What is this apps? Does it say anything about apps?
You can use Paint.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, what he said. I really wanted to use whiteboard. Yeah. See, this is destiny and endeavor now. Right?
Now I get
Destiny is
it.
I cannot figure out where is the where is the whiteboard. But now we have to endeavor and we have to figure out now what to do, right? Okay. So he
But then
says,
don't you think Paint is a good option? Like it's better to stop that anyway and you found Paint.
yeah, that's fine.
Settle in Paint.
That's okay. That's okay. See, he says there is circle of influence and circle of concern. This is pretty small, but this is circle of influence. Then there is a circle of concern. This is a very nice concept, he says. So he says in our life there are two things. Some things where we can influence and we can make things work. And that is the one circle. Then there is another circle where we have concern, circle of concern. And that is always bigger. What will happen and this and that. But we don't have control over it. We have control only in the circle of influence. And in the circle of concern, we don't have control. So we no control here. So he says among the two, we should only focus on circle of influence. And because we have control over it. And if we work on that, then we will make things work. We will achieve our goal, success, whatever. But if we focus on the circle of concern, right, where we have no control, we will waste time. We will waste time and we will waste time where we could have endeavored properly. Getting? Does this help?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So whatever may be the destiny, we have to perform our endeavor. See, when couple marry, right, they don't know whether when is they are going to have a child, but they have to keep endeavoring. They cannot go with the destiny, right?
True.
Yeah. So like that it is. Farmer, our job, studies, the child doesn't know that how the paper will be, exam paper will be. So don't worry about the destiny. You do your effort, you do your endeavor, and then the destiny will shape according to it. There is some more details to it, but right now I'll just say this much, that focus on the endeavor. Because why is this discussion important is because in Mahabharata there is this character, Dhritarashtra. He's the blind king, right? So he knew that Duryodhana is evil and he didn't want the war. But Duryodhana kept forcing him, kept forcing him, kept forcing him. And then he said, you know what? I think the war is destiny. So I will allow it. This was his exact statement. I think now the war is destiny. So I'll allow it. But his minister, who was Vidura, he said, you may be blind, but you're still powerful. And you're the king. If you control this Duryodhana, then you can avoid this war. But Dhritarashtra kept saying, no, no, it is a destiny for this war to happen. Because Duryodhana is so adamant. Well, when you're a king, you need not be a father. The whole problem was Dhritarashtra was father first and king second. So he would get carried away with whatever Duryodhana was saying. But Vidura was saying, you become a king first. The king has to be
Yeah, yes.
detached. The king has to
This
be
is quite
detached.
interesting. This is quite interesting when we compare Dhritarashtra with Lord Ram. So when you compare these, because
Yeah.
both are kings at the same place, but
Right,
you
right,
remember that
right. Good, good.
because that because for the praja he left Sita itself.
Yeah.
No, so that
See,
was the
what
biggest
happened is,
sacrifice someone can do.
ah, what happened is a king should be without defect or without doubt, without doubt or defect. So people were doubting about Sita. So to show the highest example, he actually, you know, abandoned Sita. They say abandoned, but actually didn't abandon. He sent her to to Valmiki ashram. Getting? So
Yeah, yes.
yeah, as a king, he he made the duty of a husband secondary when it came to a king. Whereas Dhritarashtra made it opposite. He made the duty of a father primary to the duty of a king. And that's where the mistake happened. And the reason why he gave was destiny. Now I will tell you a very nice story. We are talking about Lord Ram, right? Janak Maharaj was told that Sita's destiny is to be separated from Lord Ram, from her husband. When she was born, right? The astrologers told that her destiny is like that. So Janak Maharaj could have easily avoided that by making her not marry, right? Don't get her married only. So there is no question of getting separated from husband, right? But why he did that? Why he made her marry? Because it is a duty of the father. And second thing is, it is natural for a girl to get married after a certain age. These two things have to be performed. So even though he knew the destiny that she will get separated from her husband, he still endeavored. He said, endeavoring is more important. Do our duty in a detached way. Sita got Lord Ram as her husband, right? That was the greatest thing of her life. She got separated, that was another thing. So again, here the same question is destiny and endeavor. So focus on the endeavor. Destiny will shape, I will come in its way. In very simple words, I'll put like this. Let's say the weather report. The weather report for tomorrow is rain. Now, what can be the various endeavors that one can do? Tell me. See, this
They
is the
can think of
destiny.
like even if it's rain, I can try to go to office. Like,
Okay, we'll go to
and
office. Fine, we'll go to office. Huh? Go to office. Okay. Anything more? Anything more that you'll do? Very simple thing, right? You
keep
will
the
carry,
umbrella with them.
yeah, you will carry
Umbrella.
umbrella, right? See, destiny is saying it's going to rain. You do an endeavor to avoid the bad effect. What is the bad effect? You can get wet. So if you can get wet, what is the best thing you can do? You carry umbrella. You prepare yourself. But if you don't carry umbrella, you don't do and then you endeavor, then you end up saying the rain had to wet me. Right? That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Right? That doesn't make sense. See, even while carrying umbrella, you can get wet. If the rain is too strong, right? The umbrella also is of no use. Agreed?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But still we have to carry the umbrella. If our superior destiny, because we really don't know the destiny. So sometimes the destiny, astrology and all that is given so that we can prepare properly. Okay. But in spite of our preparation, things may go this way, that way. But with our preparation, things can reduce, right? Like the um, um, like here we can get wet, we can become sick, that possibility can be reduced, right? Therefore we have to focus on the endeavor. Even if we come to know about what is the destiny, or let's say what is the future, we have to prepare. We can then uh, do soft landing or graceful crash. In terms of crash, you must have um, heard about this man, right? John saw Sally. Maybe I may be mistaking Sally, Captain Sally. So his airplane was hit by birds. So both the engines of the plane were hit, and he had an option to land in nearby airport. Okay, but it was not possible because time was less and plane was far, and he had to do. So what he did, he landed on river. It is very risky to do this landing, but he had to endure. Luckily, he saved passengers. But you know what? He lost the plane. The plane got flooded. He lost that plane. There was a huge damage, but passengers were saved. So focus on the endeavor. If we focused on the destiny, now we are going to die, we are going to die, we are going to die. If the pilot thinks like this, what will happen then? Huh? Gone, right? Definitely we are going to die. But he
Yeah.
said, in spite where whatever happens, I will endure. I will try to do the best to reduce the impact, to reduce, and therefore he landed on the river. But he saved all the passengers. Not even a single person died. But there was still loss of plane, right? The plane is $100 million. But saving life was even more important. So here it is. Whether we know the destiny or don't know the destiny, focus on the endeavor. That is the conclusion. Why I spend time is because people are really confused with destiny and endeavor. I will post a video in our chat group which will make even more clearer about this concept. Very small video, 2-3 minutes, but it will tell us what. Huh?
So, at times, like whatever happens, so if something happens, we tell ourselves, or I'm talking about myself, I tell myself, or my friends tell, or I tell the other person that whatever happened, happened for good. Like, maybe this was meant to happen. So, is it good way? Is this good? Like to say this,
So yeah.
something
So the
happens?
thing is, to say even it is a good or bad, it is not in our hand. Okay, to say whether a thing happened good or bad is not in our hand technically. There is actually in the Vedas it is not said like that, that everything happens for good. It is not said like that. What it is said is whatever happens, there is a reason for it. It doesn't happen without a reason or without just by chance. It is not said that everything happens for good and all that. That statement is wrong, because we really don't know. Like, some person may die and we say, oh, that is good. Is it like that? No. The
Exactly,
karma,
exactly, exactly.
yeah, the karma may work behind the scene. Like here we have a war of Russia and Ukraine, and children are dying, innocent people are dying. Should we end up saying this was destiny? No. We should endeavor to protect. We should endeavor to rescue them. Okay.
So, for the you gave an example of that. So even I remember when you gave that example. I remember once while watching an Indian serial. So this happened that one of the characters died, and I don't know, out of all of a sudden, like some of the relatives were like, "कि, हाँ, चलो अच्छा हुआ ये." Why no pathetic source to learn from. But again, like we tend to come across these things. We come to hear these things from people. कि like जो होना था लिखा था. जो like whatever it was meant, it happened. So what should be our approach then
Okay,
in
good.
this?
So the thing is, जो भी लिखा था and all that, हमने तो नहीं लिखा था ना. हमने लिखा था क्या? We are not in power.
Hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
that is first
hmm.
point. we are not in power, so how can we make the judgment? See, the judge can only say that this person, this criminal is going to die. We cannot sit and say, okay, isko फांसी दो. No, right? When a judge makes his statement that this criminal should be killed by onto death, something like that, he can only make that decision. The general public may say whatever they want to say, right? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any meaning. The only one who is in the authority can say such thing. So that is first our understanding, that only authority figure can make that statement, and we don't have an authority figure to say that, oh, ye acha hua or ye bura hua. No. What we should see is, what can I do to avert it or better it, or
Accepted.
what is my duty over here? This is the question we need to ask in any situation. How can we avert it? How can we make it better? Or what is my duty here? See, someone may get heart attack. 99% blockage is there. The doctor still makes a try, right, to save. He cannot say, "Are gaya," right? He cannot say. So at that time, the doctor should not say it should be destined to be killed and all that. No, till the last moment that all the endeavors are, all valid endeavors are executed. Till that moment, you don't give up. Till all possible, endeavors are executed. Till that moment, you don't give up. That is our attitude. That should be our attitude. So if that particular actress died or something happened, what would have been our duty over there? How could we have averted that? That should be our endeavor. Okay? Does this help?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
there is one thing that I also heard of, like in couple of other lectures, like when people says that, or Prabhuji says that whatever, that Krishna will never hurt you. Uh, so he will not do anything bad to you. Okay? So if something is happening to you, so it may be good for you, because he
No,
doesn't
no,
want
no,
you
no,
to,
no, no,
you
no,
know.
no, 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 no. Krishna never said this thing. Krishna never
So
said this.
I.
See, this जो है ना, ये जो है गीता सार, हम किसी शॉप के ऊपर रीड करते हैं, जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, ये ऑल दैट. इन द होल ऑफ
Mhm,
भगवत गीता देयर इज नो स्टेटमेंट लाइक दैट. जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए
mhm,
होता है. There is no statement like that.
mhm.
So whoever translated it this way, right, has actually misunderstood it.
Or actually, I might have misunderstood it.
No, no,
Maybe
that's
it's
a
possible.
misunderstanding all over India and all over world. This misunderstanding is that जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. No, it is not like that. Actually, we don't have a say in that. We need to understand. We don't have a say in the destiny. We only have the say in like this. जो हुआ उसमें मैं क्या कर सकता था. That is the only say we have. So it's actually a wrong statement to say जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है and all that. That doesn't it. There is no single line in Bhagavad Gita which says that. But somehow that line has come as a Gita Sar, and it has been printed all over the shops and put everywhere, and then everyone thinks, okay, Bhagavad Gita means जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, जो हो रहा है अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है. No, ऐसा रहता तो why would okay, good point you said. We have this section in Mahabharata where uh, Krishna tells Arjuna to kill Karna, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And he gives 7 reasons why Karna should be killed. अगर if Krishna would have said Bhagavad Gita जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, whatever happened to Draupadi happened nice. There's nothing wrong in it. If he had said it, why he's saying that thing to Karna? Yeah. See, he starts saying this thing. Um, Seeing his friend pensive, meaning, I cannot kill Karna because he is lifting his cart. Then Krishna says, "O Partha, there is no man equal to you in prowess and vigor. I have seen many a hero valiant like Indra sent off to highest regions after meeting you in battle. There is not a single warrior anywhere who can survive after encountering you in the fight. The son of Radha is not to be taken lightly, and I cannot see him immediately victorious from impeding contest. Oh, hero, cut short that arrogant fool's day. Kill him, basically. He only disdains Pandavas. Slay him and strike at the root of all evils. Frustrate the desires of Dhritarashtra's son and end this war. How can Karna live after meeting you with the Gandiva in hand?" Okay. So he says, "I will shatter that hope and he will recall his many wicked deeds towards us, especially his abuse of Draupadi." So Krishna makes him remind what he did to Draupadi. So there's a section before this where um, actually it's very here. Um, let's put it here. Okay, this is Bhima. So in the Karna section, right, Krishna gives 7 reasons why to kill Karna. I'm not able to get it, sorry. But yeah, in this chapter, the section is there. So Arjuna, he says to Arjuna that, when insulting Draupadi, he was not thinking about what is right and wrong. Then why are you thinking? For such a person, you should not even think. You see? So, again, coming back to the statement, right? Jo bhi hota hai, अच्छे के लिए hota hai, and all that is actually not very supportive statement from the Shastra. There is no statement like that actually. Okay, let's be clear about it because that particular statement has created this narrative which is confusing people. What we can only think of is what we can avoid, do better, and what is our duty here. What are all the possible endeavors that we can execute? Where until everything fails, we can execute that. Then we should give up. If nothing is working at that point, then we should give up. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will share some things on WhatsApp also, so you can go ahead and see. But moving forward, okay. See, this is what I was saying. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war. Okay, even though the war was destined, right? Krishna knew, right? Krishna is God himself. So he knew this war is destined. But he himself made the effort to avoid the war, right? Even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the other party was determined to fight. The other party was right adamant. So for a right cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. See, this is what is the focus. The focus is not jo bhi hua, achhe ke liye hua. What is the focus? How the general public should be able to act in this way. What is their interest? What is the example set for them? That I will do. Experienced people in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is explained in the following verse. Okay, what is a good example? That is the question we need to ask. यत यत आचरति श्रेष्ठ तत् तत् एवेतरो जनः स यत प्रमाणम कुरुते लोकस्तत् अनुवर्तते. Now this is the reason why we should think this. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets by his exemplary acts all the world pursues. Now this is what is said. Does it say here जो भी हुआ अच्छे के लिए हुआ? No. It is said here you have to be very careful of what actions you are going to perform, even if there is a destiny. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Right? Lord Chaitanya said that teacher should behave properly before he becomes teacher. One who teaches in this way is called acharya or ideal teacher, meaning what he teaches he practices. Then he is called acharya. Therefore, teacher must follow the principles of Shastras to teach the common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita, similarly, others are considered standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leaders should teaching should be based on such principles of such standard Shastras. Okay, it's not based on some speculation, whatever comes to one mind, but on the Shastras. One who desires to improve himself to follow the standard rules as they are practiced by great teachers. Okay. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of the progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or executive head, father, and school teacher are considered natural leaders. So I told about these three things. The king, the executive head, the father, the mother, the school teacher, they are all considered as natural leaders of the innocent people. All such natural leaders have great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of morals and spiritual codes. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, very interesting text that Krishna says. Na me parthasi kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evata karmani. Krishna says, "Oh son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me." Krishna is self-realized. He is Supreme Lord. Okay. Actually, there is no work for him within all the three planetary systems. Nor do I want of anything, nor do I have any need of anything, yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Still, Krishna performs his prescribed duties. Why? Because he is a king, he is the Supreme Lord. So, if he himself is doing something wrong, then people will follow, right? The Supreme Personal Godhead is described in the Vedic literatures as so. This is in Shvetashwara Upanishad. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all controls, and he is the greatest of all diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All the entities are delegated with a particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. Okay, demigods are not the supreme themselves. They have been given that power. The chief minister is given a power by the prime minister, right? He is also worshipable by all the demigods and the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Okay, this is how the Supreme Lord or God's definition is. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. So Krishna's form, two-handed form of Krishna is not like hands like we have. Okay, there is no difference between his body and soul. So ours is different, right? Our body and soul is different. We go back to our famous picture. Our body is just a machine. It's a biomechanical machine, and we are separate from the soul. But Krishna doesn't have a biomechanical machine. His body is spiritual. And the reason for it is that he's absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other sense. So through his eyes he can walk, through his hands he can talk, like that. So any sense can perform any other sense. This is the actual meaning of Nirakar and Nirgun. See, these two words are there, right? We always hear this word in India. Nirakar and Nirguna. So one may think Nirakar means without form. No, that form is not material. Nirgun means without qualities. No, that quality is not material. It is spiritual quality. It is a spiritual form. How come it is a spiritual form? Any sense can perform the action of any other sense. Have you heard about such thing? No, right? So only in God it is possible. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as natural sequence. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the result of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. Self-realized person actually doesn't have duty. But to teach the general public, they do that. And yet Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations, the revealed scripture, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. So the scriptures, the Vedas, they tell that to protect the weak from the evil, where a good argument fails, then you have to fight. So to perform that duty, Krishna told Arjuna, you need to perform this duty. Where good argument has failed, where in the opposite side we have evil, he insulted your wife, he tried to kill you, give poison to your brother, and he played deviously in a match, gambling match. So all these are right reasons to fight. Okay. So let's open up for some questions or comments. Any question or comment?
No, they were cleared itself like during that relevant point.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any question?
No problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. It's 2 o'clock. Let's meet next week. We'll continue with 3.23. So thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.